Good afternoon, Flawless Fantasy Football fam. How you doing? This is Anthony Blake, and I'm back with a very important video right now. As you can see, the title of this video, by the description, is Exposing the Truth of the ADP Consensus and Expert Draft List. You know, that whole consensus ADP draft list that the experts bring out for running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers. But what we're going to focus on now is the running backs, because we know that's what's most important. So we'll start there, and that's a bit more sexy, the running backs. Plus, it's the most scarce, so we got to focus on that first. First, I'm going to tell you, I've been anticipating this video for a minute, and I feel as if I need to make this video before I give you my list, because I need to let this explain to you why I come to the conclusion, how I came to it. So it's important that I make this video first. So work with me and hear me out. I'm saying, see if it makes sense to you. Mind you, I didn't make this up. I try not to dive into too many analytics, but you know, at the end of the day, I got to bring some to the table. So here you go. Let's keep in mind now, everybody's lists aren't the same, but let's be honest. Outside of maybe two people, somebody having somebody 11, somebody having that 13, they all got the same guys. 1 through 12 are all pretty much the same. Maybe you just move them around just a little bit. So they're pretty much the same. We all know that to be true. So, you know, let's not play any games with that. Let's just get that understood for once. You know what I'm saying? So let's go with this. What I did last night. First, I want to say, when I woke up this morning, I woke up early. And I laid in my bed for like 20, 30 minutes, just anticipating. I couldn't go back to sleep either, which normally that's not a problem. I was just anticipating this video and be able to bring it to you, because it's just going to shed a certain light onto you that people need to open their eyes and understand about these lists. I don't care from what expert. I don't care if it's from me. You know, this is my viewpoint. Some of us can just put stuff out there and say our viewpoint, and we can can be right or wrong, and some can just add flowers and decor and tickle your fancy and tell you what you want to hear. But I'm not in the business of doing that. Okay? I'm not. I like to find things out before they happen and be predictive without being biased either way. Okay? All right. So what I did last night, I took the last 5 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I used the consensus running back list. I only did the top 12. I did half PPR, so I was fair to PPR, medium between PPR and standard. So I took the top 12 running backs for the last 5 years, from 2016 to 2020, this past season. And I came up with this. I wrote all of the consensus down, 1 through 12. And I went back and verified with the results to see if person number 1 ended in the top 12, where did he end up, or whatnot. If he didn't end up in the top 12, I wrote an X by the person's name. Let's take, for instance, 2016. Todd Gurley was the number 1 consensus. You know, I have him here, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. So we're going to talk 2016. I'm going to just run through them real quick, but anybody, if you want to do your research, that's exactly what I did. 2016, Todd Gurley was the number 1 consensus running back. Todd Gurley did not finish in the top 12. That was a bad year for him. Check his stats, but he was the consensus number 1. So basically in 2016, they were saying everybody, the consensus, the majority, the extras were saying that he should get picked over 90-some% of the time, more times than not, number 1, and he didn't even finish in the top 12. That's what the consensus, that's what the experts told you. Okay? Maybe not every expert, but the vast majority of them told you that. Looking down further, that was the year that David Johnson popped off, and he finished 2nd, and he ended up in 1st. I'm not going to go through everybody, but I'm going to let you know the list. Adrian Peterson was the 3rd that year. He did not finish in the top 12. Maybe it's because of his child thing. I don't care what the reason is. If you're on this list and you didn't finish in the top 12, it's an X. It don't matter if it's family. It don't matter if it's injury. It don't matter if your team played crap or if you got your job taken. You missed, okay? Zeke was 4th. He hit. Le'Veon Bell, he hit. Lamar Miller was number 6. He missed. He didn't finish in the top 12. Devontae Freeman, he was a hit. Eddie Lacy was number 8. He did not finish in the top 12. Jamal Charles, number 9. He did not finish in the top 12. And Doug Martin was number 11. He didn't finish in the top 12. So out of those misses, Gurley, Peterson, Lamar, Miller, Jamal Charles, and Doug Martin, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 misses. 6 people that are on this list for the half point PPR that did not finish in the top 12. That's 6 out of 12. That's 50%. Okay? All right, let's remember that number. 2007, we're not going to name all the players. David Johnson was the number 1 consensus first player. He did not finish in the top 12. 2017 is what we're talking about. We go down to number 5. Devontae Freeman was number 5. He didn't finish in the top 12. Number 6, Jordan Howard. He didn't finish in the top 12. DeMarco Murray, number 7. He didn't finish in the top 12. Joseph Haddad, number 8. He didn't finish in the top 12. That's 7 out of 12. A little bit better this time. 7 out of 12, though. So 5 of the tops. This is just for running backs. This is not consensus with all the. This is just running backs. So 7 out of 12. That's not good. That's not good. It's still almost half. 2018. Here's the year. Remember this. Gurley was the number 1 consensus player. Ended up number 1. Let me tell you the misses. Bell, number 2. Maybe it's the year he held out, but I don't care what the reason is. He missed. Now, because the reason I'm going to say I don't care, and I'm going to still count as a miss, because there are some people, and I remember because I've been playing fantasy for a long time, so more so that's why I'm doing this channel, because I have a lot of experience, different from how you get from other channels, you know what I'm saying, and trust me, I like a lot of channels and like the personalities and get a lot of value out of them, so I'm not knocking anybody, because trust me, I'm not, but I have my own spiel, but I've been around and I've seen people say, hey, okay, maybe he's worth a late first round and all this type of stuff, and he'll be back in week 2 and week 3. I didn't buy it because I don't play like that, because I'm not going to waste my first rounder. I'm going to do my best not to waste him. So I remember that year I picked up James Conner, and I had everybody I know pick up James Conner. I didn't win that year because I don't play in that many leagues. I play in maybe like 1 or 2, because it just wasn't for the thing for me to do. And I didn't win that year. But guess what? I got so much value out of Conner, it was ridiculous. Okay, so you just don't want to waste your first round pick. And I wasn't finna go to wide receiver either. I know people think that's cute, in PPRs, but that's not my cup of tea. Because I can help you find wide receivers that can still be high-end wide receiver 2, maybe even wide receiver 1s, but we'll talk about that later. This is a running back video. This 2018, Gurley hit and he was number 1. Le'Veon Bell didn't hit. Moving down to number 6, Barkley. Number 6 running back, he did not hit. That's an X. Fournette was number 8, consensus. He didn't hit. Not in the top 12. Dalvin Cook was number 10. He didn't hit. And Devontae Freeman was number 12. He didn't hit. That was another 7 out of 12. Really? It was 6 out of 12, but really close. Bell didn't hit. Barkley, Fournette, Dalvin Cook, and Freeman didn't hit. And basically, I would just go ahead and say that David Johnson didn't hit. He ended up being the number 10 running back. Oh, screw it, I'll give it to you. Even though he's number 3 consensus, he's number 10, but I'll give it to you. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. That's 7 out of 12. So that's 1, 6 out of 12, 2, 7 out of 12. So we're going to go to 2019. Barkley was the number 1 consensus. I wouldn't have picked him, but okay, and I didn't. And I didn't have number 1 pick anyway. So Barkley, he was the number 1 consistent player, number one overall consensus, and he didn't finish in the top 12 at all. So that's 1 miss. Kamara was number 2 in half point PPR, but he ended up number 12. I'll be honest with you, if you pick Kamara number 2 overall, he ended up number 12, it's a miss. I don't care what nobody says, because guess what? I picked him at the 3. No, I picked him at the 3 or 4. Can't remember which one. And guess what? He finished with 208 half-point fantasy points. It felt like a bust, So it is what it is. CMC was a hit. He was number 3. Okay, Zeke was 5. He was number 4. David Johnson was a miss. He was number 5. James Conner was a bust. He was number 6. He didn't make top 12. When I say was a bust, I mean he didn't make top 12. Le'Veon Bell was a bust. Didn't make top 12. He was number 7. Gurley, number 9. He bust. He didn't get top 12. And Joe Mixon was number 11. Y'all stay rooting for Joe Mixon, don't you? Number 11, he didn't hit. So you got Barkley, I'm not going to count Kamara because the basis of this is, hey, if they didn't meet the top 12, so I'm going to be nice. Even though him finishing at 12 really represents second round value, okay, I'm going to say he didn't. I'm going to just make that a wash. So 1, 2, Dave Barkley, David Johnson, Connor, Bill, that's 4. Todd Gurley and Mixon didn't go. So that's 6 out of 12. Okay? For 2019. You got 2 6 out of 12s, 1 7 out of 12. Now we're going to go to 2020. Okay? When CMC was the consensus number 1. Did he finish in the top 12? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Barkley was number 2. Did he finish in the top 12? No, he didn't. Zeke was number 3. He finished number 11. I'll give it to you. Not a bust. But it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. Henry, number 4. He did well. Cook, number 5. Consensus, Kamara. Okay, now we're going to get to the bust. So we already got CMC and Barkley being bust. CEH, number 7. Bust. Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb, made it in the top 12. Joe Mixon again. Supposed to be number 10. Was number 10 on the consensus. He didn't make it. Half point. Aaron Jones and mighty awesome Eckler, they say. X. He didn't make it. 1. CMC, Barkley, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Mixon, and Eckler. That's 5. So that's 7 out of 12. All right. Now I would like to say, even though everybody's just like a consensus thing, but what I used was Fantasy Pros because, you know, they have a lot of content, but I used a couple other people too, and basically they had the same players. This ain't not Fantasy Pros or anything like that because everybody essentially had the same list. Essentially, just a few passed around. So they're pretty much, you know, like you say, some say copy and paste. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's taking any chances here. That's my point. Nobody's using any sound reasoning. Everybody's just using basically the same template. Maybe 1 or 2 people on the list moved around, but they're the same players. So here you go. My question to you all is, since I didn't make these numbers up. This is 50% of the time. Let's say 60, you know, 50% of the time, these things are misses. You know, so at the end of the day, with this new consensus for 2021 for the running backs, who's going to be the bust? Who are going to be the bust this year? CMC is number 1. Dalvin Cook's number 2. This is half point. As I just looked, this is basically our Fantasy Pros. Henry's number 3. Probably interchangeable with Kamara, but it'll probably change tomorrow. Kamara's number 4. Zeke's number 5. Jonathan Taylor's number 6. Barkley's number 7. His value's dropped a little bit. Nick Chubb's number 8. Aaron Jones number 9. Eckler's number 10. Gibson, number 11, and Najee Harris, number 12. History has shown. I didn't make this up. I didn't write this. I mean, yeah, I wrote this, but I looked at what history actually did and what it served, and I wrote it down and showed you. There's a 50% miss rate, basically. 5, definitely. 6, very possible. Of running backs will not be running back 1s like the consensus and the experts say. So how are you going to draft? Every year we have people. Jonathan Taylor last year. David Montgomery the previous, you know, and David Montgomery finished top 12. So those 2 people right off the rip that finished in the top 12 that weren't on the list. So looking back at the list, it finished last year, Kamara, Henry. And Henry only finished a whopping 13 points behind Kamara in half-point PPR. Mind you, he had that crazy 6-point game, 6-some touchdown game against the lowly, woeful Carolina Panthers. So if you even slice that in half, Henry had him beating half-point PPR. That's just me, though. Granted, he ran for 2,000. We don't expect him to do that again, do we? Or do we? Cook. Montgomery's at 4. Aaron Jones at 5. Jonathan Taylor's at 6. James Robinson. There's another one. He was outside of it. Jacobs was at 8. Half-point PPR. Nick Chubb was at 9. And hell, he missed 4 games. He was at 9. That's saying something. He needs to stay healthy, don't he? Kareem Hunt was at 10. Ezekiel's at 11. And Antonio Gibson's at 12. So Antonio Gibson wasn't in there. I doubt Hunt was in there. And Robinson, Montgomery, and Jonathan Taylor. So the 5 that weren't in the top 12 last year, easy were Montgomery, Jonathan Taylor, James Robinson, Hunt, and Gibson. Okay. Now, I'm telling you right now, it'll be at least 5 running backs. They'll be in the top 10. They'll be in the top 12, a top running back 1 this year that are not on the expert list. But I guarantee you, I'm feeling very good that my top 12 list, because that's what they're writing down, right? That's how they're predicting to finish, you know? Now, my list that I'm going to put out here, it won't be how you should draft them, because I believe people that are getting picked late second, maybe even early third, will be a top 12 back. But that doesn't mean you have to pick them in the first round. Be strategic about it. Pick your first round talent, then pick them in the second round. And if they're there in the early third, hit them again. You know, don't let nobody else slip up on getting a first round productive running back 1 in the third round. No, let's not let that happen. Put them in as your flex. So imagine having a running back 1 at your flex. You know, it's kind of like someone picking Jonathan Taylor last year in the 5th at the 502 and was able to run him beside Derrick Henry in the playoffs, along with picking Josh Allen in the 7th at the 702. Nobody's beating that. Okay, all right. Enough about me. I want to be here to help you all. I'm here to help. Okay? All right? So I need you to trust someone else's other vision, someone that decided to take a leap of faith and get out here and give you information that's could probably be a little bit contradictory or different, but definitely different from other people. Take heed to it. I'm trying to help you, and just understand that. That's the purpose of me being here. I'm not trying to throw little pretty things in your face and throw all these pictures all on the... No, I'm not trying to do that. Listen to me, have your headphones in your ear, chill out, have me on in the car, and I'm going to be throwing so much content out here this week. I'm going to do my running back list, and already got it basically. I got to just teeter it a little bit, you know, and then upload it, and it'll be done. Got my running back list, wide receivers. I'm here to help you find wide receivers in late 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round or later that can be wide receiver 1s. Not that can be, that will be wide receiver 1s or high end wide receivers 2s. Okay? All right. It was probably about 10, 12 players picked before I picked A.J. Brown last year at the 411. He ended up wide receiver 9. You know, you had your boy from Minnesota. He's hurt right now, but he'll be all right. And then you had Diggs. He got picked early in the early 4th. And look, he outperformed. Nobody had him in the top 10. So there are 3 wide receivers that ended up in the top 12 that people weren't anticipating to be in the top 12. They're always out there to help you identify these people. So once again, this is Anthony with Flawless Fantasy Football. Like the doggone, like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Comment. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you want to see. And I will converse and we'll go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to say anything. So I appreciate y'all listening. The content is coming. You need to like and subscribe. So, and let's do some back and forth. I'm all for listening to people and hearing other people's ideas. I'm in a church right now on my lunch break. So, I'm in a church, so I can't lie to you. I'm only spitting that real. Can't be sinning in church, man. Come on. All right. Like, comment, subscribe for sure. Hit that bell notification so you can see the video first. All right? I'm here to help. Flawless Fantasy Football, baby. Peace.